a recording will be good. Welcome to our founders membership of Alchemy of Healing. I'm so excited that you guys decided to do this, and I do want to hear why you chose to investigate with me some of the alternative therapies. But first, if it's okay, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I kind of have planned, and I do want your feedback because this is one of the benefits of being a founder is you help create this space that we'll be working together and inviting others in as well. I do want your feedback. I don't take things personally. I believe in non-judgment, and Randy was mentioning, you know, we're human, right? We make mistakes, we learn, we grow. It keeps us young when we're always learning. So Diane and I just had a great conversation this morning about learning some new things, because I was like, you know, if you come into a conversation without, well, I have my ideas, and I mentioned to Diane, I have my ideas. And she said, well, think about it this way. And it was really good. And we were talking about foods. And so I really learned a lot. And we can only learn when we are open to that and curious, you know, how is this going to help me? What am I going to get from this? And how can I be of service to the people around me? That's part of the thing. So that's kind of what I wanted to chat about. I also want you guys to tell me if I'm using language that makes no sense to you. Please tell me. Diane and I are both dental hygienists, and I was talking with a client the other day, and I was using some terms that she felt were a little too professional for her, and she felt talked down to. But I was delighted when she said to me, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. But when we use that language, and Randy's a teacher, so, you know, she's using different languages. She's an author. She's using words that I don't know. And so I will be asking you, please explain that word, because this is no judgment. And truly, if I fall into judgment at all, I want to be called out, because we are human and this is an experience. So my goal is to be curious and come with an open mind so that I can learn. So I believe this is my premise of the container of our group. I believe we are body, mind, and spirit. And just like a three-legged stool, if one of those is out of balance, it falls apart. And that's how many of us, as we start on our healing journey, we start with our bodies, because that's the part that usually screams the loudest. And that's how I started on a healing journey. Crazy me, went and saw a chiropractor about in the 70s. And when I say crazy me, to me, that is like piece of cake now. You know, that's like, oh, wow, that's like training wheels. You know, they're awesome and they have their place. But I've investigated so many other things that are like, really out there. But so we start with and I was in such pain that I couldn't work anymore. My hands were numb. I couldn't feel what I was doing, and I was coming home and just taking all that anxiety and stress and pain and dumping it on my family. And I knew I had to do something different. And so that's when I reached out to the first thing. I didn't want to do allopathic medicine. I didn't want to do what we call traditional medicine with the pills and the surgeries and stuff. So I looked for something else. And that's when I found chiropractic, and then moved on from there. And now my goal is to keep people from being where I was, finding alternative therapies that can support them. And we're all in different places in that healing process. So that's why so many of us resonate with one therapy at one time, or one modality at a time. And then that doesn't, you know, that's nice. And it's still something we'll go back to and grab from our toolbox, but it's not the end all and be all. So we'll move on to something else, and then we'll come back and try something, and then we'll go somewhere else. And that is what it is. It's kind of a dance. Life is a dance, and we're learning all the time. And so the therapies that I teach, and you'll be experiencing many of those modalities that I know, my plan is to have a highlight of one. I've got 13 that I'll be sharing with you, one a month. And then I'll be bringing in other people to chat with, to share how they're working, what works for them. And I want them to be bringing in, like I will be sharing with you, some tools that you can walk away with on that day. Okay, so we will be, that's how we're planning on going. So as I said, we're a body, mind, and spirit, like a three-legged stool. We have to be in balance. And what else I've also learned is that it takes a month to heal for every year you've had the issue. So if you have pain in your hip, or if you have lupus, or if you have anything that we would call dis-ease, whether that be mental, physical, or emotional, for as many years as you've carried that around, it takes a month to heal. That's been proven through studies through naturopathy. And you are the only person who can heal yourself. And the cool thing about the modalities is they're a channel that open you to the experience of healing so that you can take it from there. So we call people healers. We call people, you know, oh, go to this person, they'll take care of you, they'll fix you. But really, you're the only one that can do that. So I want you to take that power that you do have and don't give it to anybody else. Okay. Yeah, so I'd like kind of your feedback, and then I'm going to share with you something that you can take away today that should help in supporting you until we talk next time. Before I do that, I do want to say that we do have some calls going out. I'm going to be hosting some calls in July. Let me find my dates. July 11th and July 16th. They're both at 4 o'clock on a Saturday. And they're for people who you might know that are interested in learning kind of the same thing that we're going to be talking about. So you can just connect them with me, or you can say, hey, this is going to be happening. And you can send them, I'll send the link out for that. So I'd like to get to know you guys a little bit better. So anybody want to share stuff about you, why you're here, what your journey's been thus far, anything like that?
Well, as I told you, I'm a veteran teacher. I taught language arts for 37 years, went to Egypt, and I'll tell you this for Diana and the lady, it's whoever's on the phone. I went to Egypt, got to teach in a language school there, and a week after I got there, the second revolution started, and I was 3 blocks from Tahrir Square and listened to people die in the protest. Came back, wrote my first book about my life-changing experience in Egypt, then started writing short stories and poetry, and because I'd done all that, graded all that for many years. So I'm a blogger and a YouTuber and all that. So then I decided that I have all these Facebook friends. I have 5,000 Facebook friends in 53 countries. I know that's insane. I'm going to be 71 on June 30th, and my average Facebook age is 27. So I'm kind of like mama of the world. So I always give out advice, but I talk a lot. So I'm from Dr. Heather Tucker, I'm becoming a holistic emotional intelligence coach plus the life harmony coach. Okay, I'll get that on my birthday, June 30th. And then I want to become a motivational speaker along with that. And I want to help young people who have no direction in their life. And we know they're there. They've been so spoiled. They have no idea what they want to do. So this is my plan, to continue to work with young people, but try to give them some direction. And because they're all so sad and depressed, and they have, I just want to help them. But I've got to learn from the coaching. I've learned listen more and speak less. It's so hard for me. But I'm doing it. So that's kind of like my, plan. And I'm also an African animal advocate. I work with a group in Kenya and Botswana. I work with World Peace Forest Africa. We grow moringa trees, and we're going to reforest Africa with the trees using university students. I'm an editor for Morocco Pens. I do a lot of crazy things. I get bored easily. And in my head, I'm still 26. So maybe that's the reason I get bored easily.
Thank you, Nikki.
That's a little bit about me.
Yeah, so what are you hoping to get from our group together?
Say again?
What made you decide to join us?
Because even though I'm a lifelong teacher, I'm also a forever student. And I heard you on WPN, and I was fascinated by your hour, and I thought I have to hear more from her. And I'm always listen. I was on another Zoom from 11 o'clock until 3:30, and I got off to be with you. So I just want to learn and learn and learn. I think I'm spending, like, which is crazy, 20 hours a week on Zoom trying to learn all kinds of new things. And I'm just fascinated with all these connections. I just recently got named She Inspires Me by a company in the UK. I'm an award winner. I'm not bragging, but I've won all these awards because I do all these crazy things, and I get blessed and get recognized for them. So, but that's kind of my latest honor. So I'm thinking, she inspires me. I hope so, I hope that's what I do. So I want to inspire more people. I'm a people person, as you can tell. And I feel that God's plan for me is to help others, especially the young people. And I'm always connected with them. They seem to be attracted to me. So I want to find out what you can give me that I can use to help them.
Excellent. Super. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Randy, would you mind just putting yourself on mute while we open to somebody else who wants to share?
Sure, I can jump in.
Thank you.
So many connections. I love everything you just said, Randy. Absolutely. High five for feeling 27. Definitely. I think that's it. Like, it's a number, right? You do what your passion is. You work from a place of joy. And I know that Sally and I have that in common. I think that's one of so many things drew us together. But, working from your place of joy, I think, is a really key component. My company focus is mind, body, skin health. And I think we're totally aligned with, body, mind, spirit. And we're a 40-year-old company. We've always been aligned in, safe, beneficial, and, things that are good for you in a healthful way. And our focus begins with the mind now. So we're a mind, body, health company. And so very, very much aligned with that. There's so many things that we have in common, in common, philosophies and core values. And so I think that those things are, huge for me moving forward. I love to be aligned with people of like thinking and like life purpose. And I feel blessed to, have that we met really it was WPN actually in person that we met, Sally. And it was wonderful. It was a very incredibly chance meeting because I had literally just heard of the conference being, I don't know, an hour's drive away from me when I was in Florida, and thought, oh, I have to be there. And so I just picked up and went, and we met. And and that's a wonderful the way that we are drawn and attracted to people. I really believe, strongly in that. And so from everything that I do, again, we are all about bringing value to people. And I think as a dental hygienist, that's kind of our life purpose, that we probably are, drawn into that profession, whether we know it at the beginning or not. But I'm still a dental hygienist and practicing, but I'm also practicing more in my global wellness company. And I just feel that they blend and they mix very, very well. And from everything, so many things that I'm excited about your group, Sally, and being a part of it as well. I love learning. Like you said, Randy, I think we're always learning and growing. And so we either have something to give and to share, or we, we're learning it and just being in our community, and with all of the everything that you have developed in your blissful alchemy and journey and companies, you have so much to share as well. And yeah, I'm so ready to be a student. I'm excited.
Super. Thank you. Yeah. And you are so right. There is so much to learn. And so what I'm hoping to do here is like cliff notes of different modalities that you've heard of or not heard of, and save you some time, because that's our most valuable commodity sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I should say too, it's the action part. I mean, we can be a student forever, but you need to take what you learn and put it into action. And I feel that's a true growth when you actually take what you've learned, have some accountability for putting it into action, and then growing. And I love learning and listening and reading as if you were the teacher. So that sort of thing, you're always able to bring things forward, when you're in that mindset too. So yeah, excited. I'll mute up now. And
thank you. Thank you. Nikki, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you're here. If you'll just share a little bit about yourself, so that we get to know you a little bit better, and a little bit about why you decided to join this membership.
All right. Excuse me. Thank you. I started logging in well before 1 o'clock California time, and evidently I had numbers. I didn't have welcome. So anyway, I'm here. I had a 072951 password. Was that ever in place?
For when you call in, the welcome will be our password forever.
Okay.
So
excuse me. Well, okay.
Gives you the option to change it both sides. Thank you, okay. And I apologize for that.
All right. No, I'm
glad you persevered.
Yeah. Well, as Randy, I got off another Zoom. I put it on pause so I could come and join this group. And I live in California, and I'm a mom of a total of 12 children and a blended family. And many years ago, I was taught self-control, and mind control, little did I know that I needed to use it for the rest of my life at this point, because of the nature of the children that I was blessed with. So I work with women who have had traumatic experiences, but that is, keeping them to play small and not feel like they have a place in the world, not feel good enough. I think we can all relate to that in some way or another. I love learning. My husband challenges me. He says, "You're just a perpetual student, Nikki. Why don't you just get on with it?" So I wanted to learn more about what Sally does, because I've been fascinated and just interested in all of your skills. And as I say, I love learning. And the Zoom that I'm halfway through is just chock full of great stuff. So turning it back to you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really, really delighted that I'm honored that you took off your time from Zoom, your call, as well as Randy to join me. Well, all our times. Thank you so much. So pop in, and what I want feedback, Nikki. I mentioned earlier, I want feedback, and I feel like life is a balance of body, mind, and spirit, and how do we get that to go together? Because anytime it is not, anytime it's not balanced, something falls apart. So thank you so much for sharing, and we will be adventuring together then, right? Thank you so much, Nikki. So Andrea, hello and welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm so late. I apologize for that.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we were actually, you'll be able to hear the replay, but we were just kind of meeting each other. I kind of went over what my beliefs are, and I'll just do those quickly so that you have a clue, and then you'll listen again. We're body, mind, and spirit, like a three-legged stool. If one's out of balance, we have no stability. It takes a month for every year that you've had an issue to heal that issue. So if you've been ill with something for a year, it's going to take a month to get better. Okay, so nothing, we have to heal from the inside out and from the outside in. You're the only one that can heal you. Other things help you access that healing and help you see that health, but you're the only one. So I'd like to hear a little bit about you, if you don't mind, and then just kind of give me an idea of what you're hoping to get from this membership, from this group.
Well, I just became an FDN, which is how I got connected with you. My background was in nursing, and I blew up my back and went into real estate in 2004. And I kind of missed the healthcare field. I got sick. And my course in finding a way to heal my body, body, mind, spirit, like you said, kind of led me here. So I got involved in everything alternative after leaving 10 years of nursing, which was very Western medicine practice. And being in real estate for the last 15 years, I am just looking for a new path right across every avenue in my life. And I'm just really in a period of searching for what's next and what's a good fit. And honoring, you know, who I am and what I enjoy doing. And that's what I'm looking to do. But my health finally has come first and foremost in the center part of my life after neglecting it for a long time. And so I'm working on healing my mind, body, everything else.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you for sharing that. And I feel you'll find something that resonates with you, whether it be one thing or many things that you'll hear about over our time together that can support you in your journey.
I was very interested in the work that you're doing with essential oils, because my illness is related to mold exposure and not having the genetic ability to produce antibodies. And so I've been reading and trying to work better with essential oils like clove and things like that.
I'm gonna say clove came right up for me. Okay, yeah. Good. Well, that'll be something that we can talk about privately, and we can also talk about in the group.
Great.
Things will be posted on the Facebook group, so stay active in that if you have any trouble getting into that. I don't speak tech very well. I try to understand it. I'm learning all the time, so any feedback or guidance I can get from you is very welcome. The Facebook group I've just changed the name to Alchemy of Healing or Healing Alchemy. You should be able to find it under either one of those. If I don't have you, if I don't have you invited, it's because I can't find you somehow for some reason. So reach out to me through that, and I'll get you connected on that. You can always message me, and I will, figure that out that way.
Sometimes, Sally, if a person's privacy setting is on private, you won't be able to invite them. So, and it's not like they have to change their setting forever, but for a moment, to take that off of private, accept your invitation, then you'll be able to be connected, and then they can go back and, put into their setting. Mm-hmm.
Good to know. So it's not always me.
Oh no, it's definitely not you. And I just wanted to say, high five to you, Andrea, because, being from a healthcare background, we are infamous for putting others in front of ourselves. And what happens is our health, can decline because, we are just always, oh my gosh, I get goosebumps just talking about this, but that is what we do, right? We're giving people, we're healthcare workers, and it's demanding. you know, and so it's very easy. It's not a fault. It's just very easy to keep giving. And, you know, sometimes it does decline our own health for sure. So yeah, can say.
Totally depleted. Yeah. Thank you for that, Diane. Very, very, very true.
Yeah, it's true.
One of the things, Andrea, that we are being is very, if anybody says anything that we don't understand, we get to ask. And I believe you said something that you said FEN, and I wasn't sure what FEN was.
Functional diagnostic nutrition, the health coaching program. I just went through that. That was how I got connected here. I think it came up, I'm not sure, in an email or something off of that site. So
Cool.
yeah, I think it was, and I could be wrong. It could have been a meetup or something else, but it just seemed like a good fit for right now. And so that program is all about people. And if anybody wants to talk to me privately about it, people who are really into resetting your metabolism, living from a cleaner, healthier place, doing things healthy, more kind of organic. And I want to say a shift away from going directly from pharmaceutical things to using diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation at a completely different level than mainstream.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
it's about testing the body and then making adjustments.
I love it. Okay, so you use kinesthetic testing and...
No, more than that. Blood tests, just 5 basic tests that are involved. Blood, urine, saliva.
What's
How's
very
that compared to functional medicine?
Yeah.
It is functional. That's exactly what it is. It's called functional diagnostic nutrition.
Yeah.
And it is correlate a lot with functional, but we're not doctors, so we can't say we're doctors.
Right.
There's not a lot of doctors that are in
No.
functional medicine that are taking this program.
Yeah.
Out of other allied healthcare professionals, nurses, acupuncturists, and whatnot. So,
Right. Yeah, I'm looking around. I think the majority of us are in some sort of health care of some sort here. So that's yeah. And everybody gets giving too much.
Can I say something to that?
Yes, ma'am.
My husband's a psychotherapist, and he's absolutely phenomenally wonderful. But you know what? He's so compassionate. He is not a good businessman. And I think that that can apply to all of us who are giving of time and energy and caring and compassion, that WPN is providing us the nuts and bolts to become better business people.
Yeah, that's true. Helps us set business boundaries. Yeah, not only personal boundaries. Well said.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Andrea, anything else you wanted to share before I move on to Pat?
No, go right ahead.
All right, thanks. And if you'll just pop yourself on mute, Andrea, just
Sure.
just in case there's background noise. Thanks. And always unmute when you're ready to chat, because I have yet to figure out exactly, thank you, Diane, but I still have to figure that out, how to get everybody on mute on my end. But thank you very much. Hey, Pat, I'm so glad you could join us.
I'm sorry, my notifications are not going off today.
For a reason, you needed the extra time. So you'll hear the replay, but we were meeting each other. I kind of gave a little idea of how we're going and how I'm relying on you to give me feedback on what works for you and what doesn't, and any guidance, because as a founding member, you get to help create this space. So I really appreciate your being here. And so Pat, what I've been asking, as you might have picked up, is tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of why you decided to join the group, so that I can help there as well.
Okay, all right. So I am Pat Chin, a home health and wellness consultant, and I show people how to find the best products for your home, right? To take the poisons out of the air that you breathe in, the right nutrition for your body, ways to get better sleep, water, air, energy. And I do that through products from Niken and Norwex, right? So between those two companies, they kind of have a very good blend of, creating a healthy home. So that's what I do. And I work full-time for Citigroup. So these are part-time things that I do on the side. And the reason why I joined is I just wanted to join and support Sally. I don't know. I use doTERRA oils all the time. I'm using. So anything I can learn about how to use them, better or mix them or whatever the case is.
Okay.
That's what I'm, yeah.
Okay. That will be one of our months. What we'll be doing is you're going to learn a lot about different holistic modalities
Okay.
that I've actually learned and studied, and walk away with some tools every class or every meeting so that you can use it right away if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, well, you've learned something you don't know. I mean, don't want, right? So that's the cool thing. We're either learning what we like or what we don't like. So we're always learning something, right? So it's a good thing. And that kind of brings up, I like to come in to a conversation, because recently, I don't know, I'm not alone with this. I've been having conversations with people who either believe you have to wear a mask or believe you don't have to wear a mask. And both are angry. It's like, why are you angry? It's your opinion. It's, and you might be right, but maybe I'm right. And maybe there's no right. Maybe it's right for me to do this, and maybe it's right for you to do this. But we have to learn to live together and be open to people having differing opinions and it being okay, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from when I was thinking about this. How can we learn to be more of ourselves, to know our own truth, and to know, what doesn't matter, because I don't have to defend. If I know it's true for me, and I know it might not be true for you, I don't have to defend my position. I can state it, and if you like it, great. If you don't like it, great. It doesn't really matter. And that's kind of how that's my goal for my life at this point, in the fact that, everybody's here for a reason, and we're all connected in some way. I mean, like Randy's got 5,000, did you say, international, many countries. She's got Facebook friends all over the world. And so we're all like that. We're all connected, and we don't really understand, but is it 6 degrees of separation? I think they say it's 3 now. It's just like crazy. So, what I got some feedback from the surveys. Thank you to those who filled out the survey. And it seems like, we want to have a little bit more clarity, and also a little bit more stability. And that's kind of the way what's happening, I think, all around us right now. It's just what we do want. So that was the thought that I do for our exercise today. And then I just like some feedback on it if you're happy to share. No obligation. So today, what I'm going to ask you to do, we're just going to take 10 minutes and do this little exercise to clear our minds and center our, feel solid in our bodies. And again, if I'm saying words that are like, what, please ask, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear our minds. And the way that I like to do this is, well, first, take a couple breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You can close your eyes or open your eyes, but if your eyes are open, have a softer gaze, just like you're looking at a blank space, or you're out in nature and you're just enjoying the trees or something like that. So not like you're reading a book. So just I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to breathe and notice how my breath feels. And then I'm just going to imagine, because we're going to use our imagination today. And it's a good tool. Daydreaming might be it. And whatever words I say, always pay attention to your reaction to it, because some words like daydream might have a bad connotation to you. And so you want to choose another word that might mean the same, and that could be imagine, it could be pretend, or picture in your mind's eye. Picture a gold ball in your head. And this is the center of your head that you're going to imagine. And even if you don't see it or you don't feel it or anything, just play along with this. And in the center of your head is this gold ball. And the center of your head is between the tips of your two ears. And then if you had the line there, and then if you had a line that was going back from between your eyebrows all the way back, where those lines meet, intersect, that's the center of your head. And some of you may think of this as your pituitary gland. And so as you're in the center of your head, just notice if you can see a gold ball. And the first thing I want you to do is say hello to this gold ball. And just notice if you get a response and what that response feels like. And you may be going, oh my gosh, this is not for me, but play along. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And now I'm going to invite you to notice the size of that ball. And with every breath, I'd like you to expand that ball out so that it becomes as big as an astronaut's helmet all the way around your head. 360 degrees, a ball around your head. So what we're doing at this point, with every breath, you're expanding that gold ball. And so I use gold in this experiment today because gold is the highest vibration of healing that our bodies understand. And what you are doing through this experience is becoming master of your head. And so often, when I've done this exercise, I have heard my mom's voice in my head, or society's voice in my head, or religion's voice in my head. And this clears that out so that I can think for myself. And after you get out 360 degrees around, with every breath, I'm going to ask you to bring that gold ball back down into the center of your head. And that can be slow or fast. You can do it just like that, or it can be a nice, easy ebb. And when you get back down to the center of your head, say hello. And notice what you feel. And when you're done, just give me a little finger wag. Anybody want to share what they noticed? I always get very peaceful. I also noticed I was talking an awful lot. So if that was too much talking or not of interest to you at all, you can just let me know, because that's what I want to know too. So that clears your mind. And now we're going to just notice our spines. So
Sally,
yes.
2 people wanted to say something.
Oh,
Randy
I'm
and
so
Dan.
sorry. Thank you for noticing, Nikki. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I see Diane has her, and Randy. Okay, Diane,
Yeah,
please.
I'll defer to Randy. You had your hand up first, Randy. You go and I'll jump in.
Thank you.
Okay. The gold ball was very warm and peaceful and inviting, okay? Because I've been suffering so much. I told you this, but my husband passed away almost 6 months ago after being married for 48 years. And he went in the hospital with double pneumonia. And 31 days later, he died of lung cancer, which they discovered 6 days before his death. So I've been dealing with depression, and then the pandemic started, and I was in my house with a 140-pound Saint Bernard, who my husband wanted to be a free spirit, and believe me, she is. So she's been, I love her dearly, but she's been kind of difficult to handle because she's so strong, and I have bad knees, and so, but anyway, so I'm trying to do all these things for healing, but that was very healing to me. I could feel him in my head saying, "You promised me you would be strong." I could feel the warmth of his hands around the ball on the outside. And then when it got smaller, it was like, "I'm leaving you now, but because I know you're going to be okay."
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. What a wonderful experience.
I've had other signs from him, and I feel like this was a real sign.
Yeah. And he's always there. He knows you're going to be okay.
That was beautiful, Randy. That was beautiful. It's so true. You're there, and it's when you're open to feeling and receiving, and yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I felt warmth, and I felt a glow, and an opening, and that all just kind of happened initially. And then you asked like the feeling at the end when we were, bringing it back down. It just felt solid and grounded. Just felt like a real grounding. And you were asking, definitely you didn't talk too much. You guided us through that beautifully. And yeah, it was just great. It was great. Appreciate that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Good. So as we go along, that kind of stuff, that is one of the things we are going to actually focus on, one particular struggle that you might be having that you'll be bringing to that month. And we can do an exercise that can actually clear that energy around that. So it's no big deal. So I think that'll be a fun thing. And not all of the things that we do, that's one of our mental exercises. Some of the things we will be doing will be more physically oriented. But I'm glad you guys liked that. Thank you. That's one of my favorite, especially when it feels like everything's like this. Just clear it out, start from scratch. It's beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so the next part of this, we're going to just check in with our spine. So our spines are so amazing, and they've got all those nerves coming out of them, right? I mean, they innervate every organ that we have. And spine health has, we're scrunching, we're hunching, and it gives us connection throughout our body. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, like I said, just notice your back. Notice what your back feels like, and just kind of see where the tension is. Notice if it feels like you're straight, if it feels like you're sitting a little crooked, and just notice it. There's nothing wrong. We're just investigating right now. And that's another thing. It's not wrong. It's just what it is. And there may be something better. There may be something easier, but it doesn't mean that this is wrong. It's just maybe not as easy as it could be, right? So that's the mindset I want us all to be with. So now if you want, again, you can close your eyes. We're going to, I'm going to ask you to just imagine your spine and just notice how it feels with your spine. How does your body feel? And as you notice that, I'm going to ask you to imagine from the base of your spine that you put a rod down into the earth. And the rod can be stainless steel, it can be glass, it can be whatever feels right to you. But just put that rod down and see what it feels like to you and let it go as deep as it wants to go. And notice if that helps your back. You know, notice if it gives you a little more stability. And now I'm going to ask you to take that another rod and put it up from the top of your head all the way up to the heavens, up to the universe, as far as it wants to go, as high as it wants to go. It can go for infinity if it wants to. And just notice how that feels. And now I'm going to ask you to connect the one from the bottom with the one on the top, and just let that happen along your spine, however feels right to you. And notice how that feels to have that grounding in the earth and that connection with all that is, or whatever God, source, universe, whatever it is that you can feel is what keeps your heart beating when you don't have to think about it. You know, that inner intelligence, that universal consciousness. And now invite that rod or rail to become golden. And notice how that feels. And when I do this, my posture is straighter. I feel like I have support. And it just feels I feel very solid. And then I'm going to ask for more than a little finger wave. Give me a whole hand wave when you guys are done. No rush. Okay. Great. So how'd that feel? Any comments? Pat?
I feel like my head like lifted, you know, like my posture like was better. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just energy, you know, and all we're doing is directing our energy to do something differently. Have you ever done the energetic ball? You ever done that? Oh my gosh, you guys. Rub your hands together. And then put them apart. And do you feel anything in between your hands? And squeeze maybe a little tighter. Does you feel a little resistance?
Yeah.
And now let it go as far as you can. Yeah, this is you. This is your energy field. This is an example of your energy field. And this is why in Heart Math Institute, you can change. And some of you might have seen me talk about how changing my mind about a patient had her change her reaction to me. And that was because of this energy, my heart, you know, just being different. When I show up differently, everybody else shows up differently around me. And so life can be easier. It can be simpler. And that's been my journey, to find the ease instead of the struggle. Yeah. So I have had a blast today. I hope you have. I'd love any feedback, any last minute words that you'd like to share. Anybody want to say anything before we sign off? No? Thank you all. It's been a pleasure. If you have anybody interested in this, I will be sending out a notice. I have 2 more calls that are going out that are going to be more trainings on more of physical aspects, and then the mental and emotional aspects or spiritual aspects of our body. 2 different calls that are open to people who are interested in finding out a little bit more and joining after you guys have been, not founders, but I rely on you guys to give me all the feedback. Just throw it at me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nikki has her hand up.
Hats off to you guys. Appreciate it.
Nikki wants to
Can
say
you
something.
can you see us on your screen?
You're small. So it's funny. Maybe I should come to the other side here. I wonder if I can. There we go.
Randy raised her hand and wanted to say something, and
Thank you, Nick.
and I wanted to ask 2 questions, or have a question and a suggestion.
Yes,
The call that's going out, is it going to be a phone call or a Zoom call?
it will be Zoom as well.
On the same number?
Yes, the same number. So you guys can keep that number handy, and welcome will be the password.
Okay.
And it will be the same number the whole time.
Okay. Great.
Unless I let you know, unless something happens, I shouldn't,
Okay.
But yes.
And then the other observation, maybe because your screen pictures were real small, but there was a lot of interaction that wanted to take place that I know you're in your head and trying to get the thoughts going and so forth. Give us an opportunity, ask a question, give us an opportunity to think, go internal, and then raise our hand. Go beyond, give us 5 or 10 seconds.
No.
At least, to be able to raise our hand and think.
Yes. Thank you for that, Nikki. And yes, thank you. The pictures were very small, and I do appreciate you all paying attention to what was going on. And thank you, Nikki.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll give you a chance to think.
We love you.
Thank you, sweetie. I love you too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea, you wanted to say something?
Actually, thank you. Just thank you.
Oh,
Nice
you're very welcome.
Yes.
Glad you liked it.
Yes, it's really good. Thank you.
How did it make did it help your back?
Well, actually, yeah, that was good. And I also grabbed one of my essential oils during the to start experimenting. I like the post kind of going through your head and back. That I noticed my posture improved. And as a nurse, of course, I have back issues. So it's good. It's very good.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. And was it Randy who wanted to say something, or Pat? Randy? Okay.
Well, I'm my own worst enemy, and I know that because I always create my own stress because I try to do too many things. I multitask too many things at one time, and I'm trying to learn in the last few days. I realized that this is crazy. You don't have to conquer the world in one day, So I'm learning to relax, and thank you so much because this was very relaxing. I think this is the first time I've been calm all day. No, I really mean that seriously. So thank you for that.
Good. You can revisit that anytime. You can always do it. Didn't take that long.
And it's wonderful to get the connection with you, and all the ladies here. Thank you. It was nice to meet all of you. And I will be back. I hope we get to be really good friends.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hugs to everybody. We need those hugs too.
That's right. As a people person, you're really missing it, right? Right. Thank you. Did I miss any conversations from anybody who really wanted to say something and I didn't acknowledge? Okay. All right. I'm here for you. That's what I'm here for. I want to thank you so much for showing up. Great job. And I'll see you hopefully July 11th.
11th.
If not, it'll be at our next meeting and on Facebook.
The 11th and 16th at 4 p.m., which is Eastern time, correct?
Yes,
Right.
ma'am, it is. And then the other calls will be Thursday nights. The regular monthly calls will be Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern time.
4:30 my time. Okay.
So hopefully that works for everybody. It's not going to work for you, Randy. Okay, so I'm open to other suggestions. If Saturdays work for most people, then that will be, not really. Okay, so that is one of the things that is an issue, is getting times and all that kind of stuff together. So we'll work together and figure out what works best. If we can wiggle things maybe a half hour one way or the other, and see if that works. Your dog is waiting for you, right, Randy? Okay, we'll let you go. All right, ladies.
Oh, there he is.
Your dog.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Cutie.
you're not going to have any carpet left. Ciao. Love you all.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, Sally. Thanks so much. Nice meeting you, ladies.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you all.